Good morning. Good Saturday morning. What's going on, everybody? Geez, it feels like summer is flying by. It feels like summer is flying by. I'm feeling fall. I'm kind of feeling fall in my bones. How's everybody feeling? But I know that this week in New England, we're still going to get a rip of hot weather. Yesterday at Foxborough Stadium, they revealed the Tom Brady bronze statue. I don't know. It's great. I think it's cool. Does it look like Tom Brady? I don't know. If you follow me on X, I put a photo of the statue out yesterday and said, what the fuck is this? I don't know. What'd you all think? Did you see the unveiling of the Tom Brady bronze statue at Gillette Stadium? If you did, let me know in the comments. Do you think it looks like Brady? I don't know. Did he ever have that fist bump with the incredibly long arm? I don't know. Did he ever do that? So I don't know. I couldn't. I was like, yo, cringy. Didn't look anything like Brady. But we're back again. We're live here. Going to talk about the situation that is rotten and grotten. This case with Sean Long Island Audit and former Connecticut State Trooper Brian COPTUAH Fahey has really, caught my attention. It's a very interesting story, and excuse me, and I just can't see why this is not getting a national headline at this point. I mean, there's plenty of media out there. There's plenty of interesting creators that have been following the story. Obviously, Sean has been reporting on it as well, and it's really captivated me. I mean, this is behavior that cannot go on in our society, especially with authority figures that hold a badge and a gun that we are supposed to respect, that we're supposed to call when we have a problem or an issue. If you got a problem, I'll solve it. Those types of situations. But what happened? A journalist going out, knocking on a door like any journalist can and asking a question, having a gun held to them and then spat in their face. And then ultimately, in the Internal Affairs report that I FOIA'd yesterday, and I do have that report and I plan on going over it this week, ultimately ended up admitting, Brian COPTUAH Fahey ended up admitting that he spat in Sean's face. That is assault. That I don't care about the Connecticut law. I don't care about the statute. That is one of the most vile things that you could ever do to someone. That, in my mind, is assault. And then in that report, Fahey is found of unbecoming an officer. But what do? They allow him to quietly retire. Just retire. Keep your benefits. Keep your pension. We don't want that negative stain on you. But we'll go through that full report this week. Let's see. So yesterday I get back to writing, and I don't know if you all know, but I do have a website, and it is ltlmedianews.com, and you can check out all my latest writings or past writings on there. But I wrote an article yesterday, and I want to take you through this. So again, ltlmedianews.com. And here we go. Connecticut State Trooper spits on journalists, retires without consequences. And I ask, where is the accountability? So on July 11, 2024, a disturbing confrontation unfolded outside a private residence in Groton, Connecticut, between a former state trooper and an independent journalist. The incident, captured on video, is now widely circulated, has sparked serious questions about police conduct, accountability, and the apparent double standard in how justice is applied. At the center of the controversy, Sean Paul Reyes, 34, of Gorham, New York, a constitutional activist and content creator behind the widely followed YouTube channel, The Long Island Audit. Reyes is known for his First Amendment audits, peacefully filming in public spaces to hold public officials and law enforcement accountable. Reyes was accompanied by Taim Glover, 20, of Selden, New York, who served as a cameraman. On that day, they went to the former Connecticut State Police Sergeant Brian Fahey's home. A law enforcement officer recently scrutinized for questionable overtime practices. And, I talked about this on my show You look at the overtime, the jump in overtime. I think it was 2017, around 7,000 in overtime to all the way up to about 70,000 on average overtime. So how does that happen? Where is this money from? Where, how we figured, oh, because you figured out how to trick the system, allegedly. So it goes into scrutinized questionable overtime practices. Reyes later stated that his intent was to simply, quote, to exercise his First Amendment right to ask Fahey questions about his overtime. And you're allowed to do that. A peacefully lawful act in a public space. Instead, what transpired was anything but lawful. Rather than call 911 and wait, Officer Fahey, who was off duty, returned into his home, retrieved a privately owned firearm, and emerged to confront Reyes and Glover. According to the Internal Affairs Investigation report released by the Connecticut State Police, quote, Sergeant Fahey perceived the individuals as a known threat to his family and himself, which prompted him to arm himself with a privately owned firearm and exit his residence. While walking down the driveway, chest to chest and face to face with Sean Paul Reyes, Sergeant Fahey identified himself as I got to do it this way, I'm a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper, multiple times in the effort to have Reyes leave his property. But I ask the question, and I say, here's the glaring issue. If Reyes and Glover truly posed a threat, then why didn't Fahey stay inside and let 911 handle it? Why escalate? Why pursue them down the driveway, armed to confront someone who is simply asking a question? Is that what the Connecticut State Police Academy teaches? Escalate over de-escalation, threat over communication? And then came to the most egregious act. Fahey spit directly into Reyes' face and mouth during the encounter while holding a firearm and claiming official authority. That moment, caught on video, shocked viewers and raised immediate concern about Fahey's fitness for duty. Reyes was arrested that day, not the man who spit on him and held him at gunpoint. Excuse me. Despite widespread outrage and clear video evidence, Fahey was not criminally charged. Instead, the Connecticut State Police allowed him to quietly retire with full benefits. So again, we ask, what message does this send to the public? To a journalist? To citizens who ask questions? I got to give Reyes immense credit for not losing his composure in a face-to-face hostility and humiliation. It's not easy to stay calm when an armed man is spitting in your face and violating your civil rights. Let's be clear. This wasn't just about isolated moment of poor judgment. This was a blatant abuse of power. And the Connecticut State Police enabled it by allowing Fahey to walk away without consequences. Does this reflect the transparency and accountability the citizens of Connecticut deserve? I got to ask you that question. Because where I stand, it is a disgrace. So, you want to read all of my stories, you can check them out at ltlmedianews.com. I'll drop that link in there. You can click on all these little available tiles. That one is under national news. It's kind of weird. I live in Massachusetts. Connecticut's a neighboring state. It's not really local news. So I got to call it national news. But you can check out all of my stories there. All right, let's get into some videos. So Sean was in Rotten Groton all of last week, went out to the governor's office to ask some questions, and seemed like Governor Lamont didn't want to hear anything, didn't want to answer to the cop spitting state trooper. And again, journalists asking the tough questions of authority figures that are here to serve the public, but don't want to answer the tough questions. Again, I want to thank Sean and Leroy Truth for coming over the other night and chatting with me. We had a great live stream. If you haven't checked out that interview, please do. It's on my on my homepage, and I want to thank Sean and Leroy for allowing me to go through these videos. Okay, let's go.
Audit here, back again with another video. We are currently in the state capitol here in the state of Connecticut. We are here today to try and get comments from Governor Ned Lamont on the injustice that took place in the town of Groton. That was a travesty of justice. I was unlawfully arrested on voyeurism charges, breach of the peace, and criminal trespassing. Myself and my cameraman were unlawfully arrested, given high bonds. Sergeant Brian Fahey has now retired. He is now just Brian Fahey. He has run away from transparency. He has run away from accountability. So we're here today to see if we can get some comment from Governor Ned Lamont regarding this injustice and if he will do anything to rectify it. Let's get into it.
Where have you been? Let's get some caps on here.
Hi. Yeah, Governor Lamont, my name is Sean Paul Reyes. Hi, how are you, sir?
So immediately they identify themselves as media. And what does Governor Lamont do immediately? What is this guy doing? He's taping me? What is he doing? He's taping me? Yeah. He's a journalist. Wants to ask you a question. Wants you to answer for the cop spitter in your state. Let's go.
Nice to see you.
I'm suffering a grave injustice in the state of Connecticut. There's an overtime police scandal. And
run right now.
I know, I understand, Governor, but this is a grave injustice that's happening in the state of Connecticut, sir. Excuse me, Governor.
I didn't care.
Governor Lamont, this is a serious issue. This is supposed to be the Constitution state, and my constitutional rights are being violated, Governor. I understand.
What can we do to be helpful?
I've sent numerous emails, and no one's responding to my emails.
It's not.
I'm an independent journalist. My cameraman and I were charged with felony voyeurism for investigating a state police officer. Governor.
Why don't you email me? He's got to get to a thing that starts. A few minutes.
Excuse me, Governor. I would just like a moment of your time to talk to you. There is a police scandal going on with overtime, desk officers making 6 figures every single year, working a 9-to-5 desk job.
Yeah.
And I would like your comment on it. I would need your assistance.
Say anything.
You're a public servant, Governor.
Right.
This is a travesty of justice, what's happening in the Constitution state.
Set up a meeting if you want to.
I have tried to set up a meeting with you.
If you're sitting around with your camera playing games.
This is not playing games. This is journalism, Governor.
Playing games. Coming out and asking a question as a journalist. He says, you can sit there with your camera and you can play games. This is how the public is treated when you ask tough questions, when you want answers to a situation. You know, these people want the power. They want the power, but they don't want to answer the questions. And we see this all across all of our states all the time. Elect me. I'm going to be your official. I'll be there for you. I will answer the questions. And then when the tough questions come, what do? They run away. Those scheduled meetings that you want to sit with and ask those questions, they don't want to answer. Sorry, my schedule's full. I got a thing that I got to get to. That's what happens in these situations. Here we go.
This is journalism. You are the leader of the state of Connecticut, an elected leader, a public servant, and there's an injustice happening in your state.
Exactly, Kim. Kim's got it. What would you say if this is NBC News or CNN? And this is the same thing that I talked about when Sean went out as an independent journalist and knocked on Brian COPTUAH Fahey's house, the door, came off his porch, created space. If it said NBC News or CNN, how would it have reacted? Would it have been different? Would it have been, I'm not answering any questions. I'm just going to go back inside my house. Is that what it would have been? No, instead it comes out, I arm myself with my firearm, I spit in your face. That's what happens. Here we go.
Camera for the world to see, Governor. It's on my email. We'll set up a meeting. I have tried to reach out to you and your office numerous times, Governor.
Leroy Truth in the house. I saw your video yesterday. You went out to the TV station, and I think that was out in Groton, and asked the tough questions. What did they all do? They ran away. They all ran away, Leroy. That's how this is. They don't want to answer the tough questions. They don't want to answer the tough questions. Man, I've got to come out and collaborate with you guys. You've got to reach out to me when you are back in Rotten Groton. Let's get together. I want to come out there and see what you guys do. I'm really interested in this. This story is captivated me. Why this is not getting national, worldwide attention on the mainstream media? They don't want to bring up things like this. They don't want to expose the bad cops. They don't want to say this is what's wrong with our society. But we will, because we're independent journalists, and we can do this. And we can show what is going on in our states, what's going on with our elected officials, and what's going on with corrupt cops in our state. All right, here we go.
Justice, what's happening here? The Connecticut State Police are conspiring with the town of Groton Police to violate my constitutional rights. As the elected leader of Connecticut, I would like your assistance in the matter.
You can't answer any questions.
Well, if you give me your contact information,
I'm sure you've been contacted. You should know all about it. There's been thousands of emails sent to your email address.
And so I'm saying,
are you his chief of staff?
I give you my email address.
So you guys have definitely know about it. You guys have definitely known about it.
I'm asking to meet with you to
local
help you
media.
with your issue.
Local media has covered it.
The goal is to get your issue resolved. So let's sit together and work on that together.
So what's your name?
Matthew Brockman.
Matthew Brockman?
Yep. If we want to get the issue resolved, I'm saying let's work together to get the issue resolved.
I want to get the issue resolved.
So then
We'll send them over to your channel after, Leroy. We'll send them over to your channel after. Check out that live stream. I saw that yesterday. I saw it. They ran away. They all ran away. They don't want to answer the questions. They don't want to answer the tough questions. Unredacted. So keep doing what you're doing, Brian. Hard work pays off and will keep paying off. Great job. Hey, look at that. Are you van lifing? Are you van lifing? That's awesome. Are you van lifing? Let's see. Leroy says they called the cops on me in Rocky Hill, Connecticut, and told me I had to leave. How ironic. Journalists called the cops on another journalist. Unbelievable. Here we go.
This is an overtime scandal.
That opportunity to do that.
But I've contacted your office and nobody. I've contacted the governor's office and no one has contacted me.
No
one has gotten back to me. Not only me, thousands of people have contacted your office. Thousands.
I can't speak to this, Alec, what you're saying. Saying to you, if you want to work on an issue, then I'm happy to help.
Governor, please do the right thing. Stand up for the Constitution, Governor.
They all run away.
Stand up for the Constitution. Stand up for the people of Connecticut. Stand up for the people of Connecticut, Governor. Do the right thing. So it looks like the governor doesn't want to speak to us. Massive, beautiful building here.
Beautiful building.
Let's see if his chief of
staff. You ever noticed that too? It's all these beautiful buildings that they're in. I saw a video. Leroy was out in Jersey yesterday and went in and tried to get into a public office and asked some questions. Another beautiful building. The mayor's office. The mayor's office. Another beautiful building. They're all in these beautiful buildings, the ivory towers, but they don't want to answer the tough questions of when a cop spits on a journalist. I mean, is this behavior acceptable? I mean, they're accepting this behavior. And then the journalist gets arrested. I don't get it. I don't get it. Welcome to America. We the people, right? Here we go.
Probably his chief of staff, right?
I don't know who that guy is.
Or an aide, Matt Brock.
Communications or chief of staff.
A communications officer.
We the people.
How are we gonna speak if you don't have my contact information?
Excuse me.
You have my contact information? You could reach out to Matt, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
It's a serious issue that needs to be looked into. I'm not
saying it's not. I'm telling you that if you have an issue, we're here to help.
And what's your position in the governor's office, sir?
I'm the chief of staff of the governor.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Those folks who were able to take care of the people in need that might be cut off.
Governor, what are you planning on doing about the constitutional rights violations in New London, Connecticut, in town of Groton, and the state police unlawfully arrested a journalist, myself, and my cameraman for asking a question about overtime? What do you plan on doing about that? Well, I've contacted your office many times. There's 55,000 signatures that have been signed to a change.org petition calling for the firing and prosecution of the state trooper involved, who's received 6 figures in overtime working a desk job?
We're going to talk to you about that offline.
Sure.
Guess he doesn't want to answer the question. The Constitution states violating people's constitutional rights, Governor. It's all on camera for the world to see. I don't know why all the law enforcement officers, as soon as I walk up, they just come out of nowhere and start surrounding me, getting closer. Would they do that for another journalist that's asking questions? I don't think so. I mean, the double standard here, again, I don't have a nice little Fox News or MSNBC mic, but Governor, I see you have a few minutes. You have a few minutes to talk, Governor. You're talking to other people, Governor. I would just like to talk to you. Just a few minutes of your time, Governor, so I can give you the details. Just a few minutes of your time so I can give you the details of what's happening, Governor. Governor, it's a constitutional rights violation, Governor.
I told you I called
Speaking to the Governor. Governor, you have time. Everybody's here. I just want 5 minutes of your time, Governor.
A little audio issue in the video there. Sorry about that. If I blasted your ears out. Here we go.
My constitutional rights were violated in the Constitution state. Are you a law enforcement officer, man?
Must be cutting back and forth to the audio.
No, you keep up with everything. Thank you. Governor, 5 minutes of your time. I could give you the details of exactly what's happening, Governor. I'll walk with you. I just want to, you just keep bumping into me, so I don't want you to say that I'm bumping into you, okay? Oh, no. All right, I'm going to try my best not to bump into you, okay? All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Governor, 5 minutes of your time, just to talk about the constitutional rights violations that is happening in the town of Groton, conspiring with the state police in order to violate a journalist's constitutional rights for knocking on a door, asking questions about overtime discrepancies in the state police. Are you aware of any overtime discrepancies? Did you read the auditor's report regarding the overtime? How they're not giving out bids for projects, the state police, Governor? Governor, I have a petition with 55,000 signatures on it, Governor.
Sean. Keep laying it in there, Sean.
People from across the country and across your state, Governor, are interested in this story. I'm just asking for you're a public servant. I'm asking for 5 minutes of your time. Governor, why don't you care about the Constitution, people's constitutional rights? 5 minutes of your time just to talk about what's going on here, Governor. Give you the information. My bond was raised from $10,000 to $75,000. The police chief of Groton, former Connecticut state trooper.
Good for Sean. Good questions.
Is conspiring with the state police.
And this is your tax dollars. I want to remind you, if you live in Connecticut, this is your tax dollars. You're paying this salary. You will not stop and answer a question. It's got to go through, his chief of staff and the media, and we got to get a statement. Answer the question raw. Call it egregious. Call it what it is. I don't condone. This is what we should be hearing. I don't condone the behavior of state police troopers like this in my state. Call it out. What are you afraid of? Oh, why? You're going to piss off the union? You're going to piss off the lawyers? Call it out for what it is. A disgusting, vile act to spit on a journalist for asking questions and holding a firearm to them. Call it out. All right, let's go back to the video.
Oh, I got to walk double time. You're on the treadmill, Governor. Governor, come on. 5 minutes of your time. The people want to know. I know your office has been receiving countless emails from people across the country who are interested in the story, Governor. You can roll your eyes all you want.
He rolled his eyes at a citizen for asking questions about this. This is your tax dollars, people. Remember this. Remember this. If you live in Connecticut, when you go out to vote, he didn't want to answer this question. He's condoning this behavior. Ned Lamont is condoning this behavior. Your tax dollars at work. Here we go.
Story.
Asked and answered 5 times. You're not helping your cause.
I don't have a cause. It's my rights. That's what we're talking about here.
Your cause.
It's my rights. So because I ask you questions and you ignore me and you say I'm playing games, you're not going to help me now. I'm not helping my own cause. Is that how this works? I think you forget your role. You are a public servant.
Yeah.
You serve the people, Governor.
They want the power, but they don't want to answer the questions.
You're not a king. You are not anybody special. You are here to serve the people. What does not helping my cause mean, Governor? Governor, what does that mean? By asking questions, engaging in journalism, trying to get justice for an injustice, Governor? Is that what that means, Governor? You have nothing else to say, Governor.
Beautiful building.
We're going to hold you accountable, Governor. We're going to hold the state police accountable. And we're going to hold the town of Groton accountable. As you can see, a public servant doesn't want to answer a journalist, a member of the public. I am the taxpayer here in Connecticut. I spend a lot of time here in Connecticut. Hotels, gas, etc. So it's very disappointing
Welcome
that he won't speak to us regarding this blatant travesty of justice. All right, fellow patriots. So we attempted to get comment and some assistance from the governor, Ned Lamont. We are outside of his office right now. As you saw, he ran away. He was very dismissive of our concerns regarding this injustice that is occurring here in Connecticut between the Groton Police Department.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Leroy and Sean. I hope to get out. Like I like I said, Leroy, stay in contact with me. If you guys are going to be out in Groton, out in Connecticut, let me know. If I can make it out there, I'd love to come out and collab with you guys. You have my number. Just give me like a week heads up. I'll make time. I'll come out there. I'm only like an hour from Groton. So I'd love to go out there. I told Sean the next public meeting, I want to go out. I want to go out in the next town meeting. Because he said, I'm going to keep rolling with this until there's answers. So I'd love to come out and collab with you guys. And they're great. They're great dudes. I had a lot of fun speaking with them. And again, if you haven't seen that live stream, go over and check it out. We had a great interview the other day. All right, here we go, Sean.
And the Connecticut State Police, the overtime scandal. There is much more to come on that, so stay tuned to the channel. I'm very disappointed that the governor would not even take the time to speak to us. He had a very long walk to be able to get to know the details of this case, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to take 5 minutes out of his day to talk to me regarding this injustice. This is the Constitution state, the so-called Constitution state. We all know it better as Corrupticate. And this is why, because there is no accountability. Doesn't want to look into the overtime. So what they try to do is they try to appease me, saying, we're going to look into it. We'll get back to you. Awesome. But I know they're not going to get back to me. I know they're not going to reach out. They know about this incident. All of you out there have been emailing the governor's office, calling the governor's office. He knows. He's seen the video, but yet he won't have a conversation. He is a public servant. He's public servant.
I think as Sean's doing his outro here, I think the governor actually comes back out and won't answer some questions. Let me get to this really quick. Rosemary, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a member as well. If you didn't see last night, for all my members that are in the room, and you can get a monthly membership if you'd like to support me on a monthly basis, just click that join button down below. And my membership started at $1.99. And it definitely helps keep the studio lights on here. But if you didn't see last night, I did a members only video for you all. Day one of building the new studio, the new build out. I am going to be moving my studio in about a month and a half. I have a new space here in this beautiful building that's provided by an amazing gentleman that believes in what I do. So we'll be moving up into a much larger space. I'm in the act of building that out. I got some materials yesterday, so I'm really excited, but go check out that members only video and get caught up. And I'll do a series as we're building that out. And that's part of being a member. You get kind of that backstage access to everything that goes on here in LTL Studios. But thank you. I appreciate that. All right, here we go. Back to Sean. And I think Governor Lamont is going to come out at some point in this video. And Sean asks him again. He says, look, he just walks away.
It's like Governor Ned Lamont. You need to understand that they are elected to serve the public. They are not above us. They're here to serve, and this is a constitutional rights violation that we all have seen. We all see it. It's clear as day. It's a conspiracy between the Groton Police Department and the Connecticut State Police to protect former Sergeant Brian Fahey and to punish me by charging me with felony voyeurism, criminal trespassing, and breach of the peace. Always remember, accountability and transparency doesn't stop at the door of our elected officials. There's so much more to come. There's so much more to this overtime story that I'm currently investigating. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We are going to hold those with power to account and take it from them if necessary in elections, because this is unacceptable. We, the people, need to come together united. I appreciate all of your support. Thank you for your donations, for everything you've been doing for me. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to hold them accountable.
The irony.
Governor, as we're doing the outro, Governor, you want to talk to us? No, still don't want to talk? Governor, how much overtime did your state police detail make? Governor, you still don't want to talk?
The irony.
This is a serious situation, Governor. Come on. Well, right as we're doing our outro, the governor walks out of his office and again still doesn't want to speak to us regarding this injustice. This shows you that our public servants do not care about us, but we the people have the power. We need to come together, stand united together. United we are strong, divided we are weak, and that's what politics is. It's supposed to divide we the people. But he's a public servant. I don't care if he's a Democrat or Republican or independent. He's a public servant first and foremost, and he should care about injustices that happen in his state. And he will care. We're going to make him care. We are going to make the entire state government care. We're going to expose this tyranny and corruption for the world to see. We've already done it. We're going to continue to do it. Thank you all for your donations, your support. Hit the like button and share.
All right, great. Good stuff there by Sean. Governor Ned Lamont. Christine, thank you so much. Look at this 18-month membership. Thank you for supporting LTL Media. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Dunn Peel says, I love your content. Got to go back to work. Yeah, this is becoming a national interest story. That's what we want. We need you and people like this on these channels to keep talking about this. Keep talking about it. All right. Well, Sean didn't stop there. Sean went out to the town manager in Groton, John Burt, and asked some tough questions as well. And this was his interaction with John Burt. And of course, he ain't gonna answer any questions either. I think Leroy's in this video as well. Leroy, what's up, man? You're in the chat. Let's check out this video from John Burt.
Town manager of Groton's office, John Burt. Hey, how are you, sir? Are you the town manager?
I am.
Hi, John Burt.
Yes.
John Burt, nice to meet you. My name is Sean Paul Reyes.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I came to Groton because I'm not sure if you're familiar with the incident that happened on July 11th.
Oh, no caps in this one.
So
Sorry.
I haven't heard any comment from the town government here on what was being done to investigate or handle the matter properly, and so I just wanted to see if you guys had any comment on the situation.
Being an ongoing matter, let's let the process play out.
Boost this up a little bit.
I'm not authorized to comment.
Is it being looked at by?
I'm not able to comment.
You're not able.
Sorry. No.
You're not able to comment on even who it's being. Are you looking into it? As the town council looking into it?
Again, I've got to leave it there. So.
Okay.
Real quick, Mark Mazdamedia checking in. Good morning, sir. If you didn't check out my live stream with Mark Mazdamedia the other day, we did very extensive coverage on the Karen Reed case. Lots of corruption, lots of corrupt cops in that case as well. You can check out all my material, all my videos for about the last 2 years defending Karen Reed. And obviously what happened, Karen Reed was found not guilty. We did a lot of work in that case, and we did a awesome in-studio live stream in front of about 30 people the other day. It was great. We had reflected on the Karen Reed case and the impacts that it made in our lives. Dedicated about 2 years of freeing Karen Reed. So it was really great. You got to check out that live stream as well, too. All right, let me do this real quick. I got to stop for a station sponsor. We'll be right back in about a minute. See you then. Need a break from modern life? We'll travel back in time to the Star Drive-In. That's East Taunton's iconic retro hotspot. Fun for the whole family. Enjoy great food, entertainment, and timeless memories. They got free community events all season long, including movies under the stars, live music and tailgating, Jeep meets, classic car shows, and bike nights. While you're there, indulge in over 100 flavors of soft serve, 80 flavors of Bliss and Gifford's hard ice cream, plus a rotating selection of 10 flavors of Dole Whip. The Star Drive-In is not your average fast food place. Everything is made fresh to order using quality ingredients. Fresh seafood is delivered daily, and pizza dough made twice a day for maximum freshness. I love their pizza. The Star Drive-In, where food, fun, and family memories never go out of style. They're conveniently located at 205 Myrick Street in East Taunton. That's exit 16 off Route 140. Make sure to visit their website or follow them on Facebook for their latest menus and upcoming events. And hey, while you're there, say hi to Erica and her team. And if you mention LTL at the register, you'll receive 10% off your entire purchase. That's the Star Drive-In in East Taunton. It's the most iconic retro hotspot. Yes, the Star Drive-In in East Taunton. I'm going to head over there for lunch today. And Erica and her team did amazing fundraisers for Karen Reed throughout that entire trial. I love the Star. And when you're over at the Star, you go up to the window, just mention LTL at the time of your order, and you'll get 10% off. And I'm going to be over there today, and I'm going to buy a lucky person in line lunch today, courtesy of LTL Media. All right, let's go back to John Burt, the Groton Town manager, and let's see if he can answer the tough questions as the public servant. Obviously, you can see by the body language here, he don't want to say nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with this. All right, here we go.
Okay. Is there any other information that you could provide to me as what's going on with? Because I lost my freedom, sir. I lost myself, my cameraman who was just doing a job. We lost our freedom, and for exercising our First Amendment right, just what I'm doing now, questioning public officials, questioning power, and we lost our freedom. I had my face, a trooper spit in my face. The Groton Police Department charged me with all types of insane crimes, voyeurism. Seems like a cover-up, and they were protecting the trooper. And the people want answers to these kinds of questions.
I'm sure you know that when these things happen, there is a legal process.
But there's a legal process, and then there's doing what's right, sir. There's doing what's right.
No escaping the legal process. We have to let that play out.
All right, do you have a card or anything?
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, no problem. Will this be brought up at any town meetings? You have a meeting tonight, right?
Yes, it's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda for tonight's meeting. Is it? How do I propose something to be on the agenda? How do I want to speak to somebody. Do you have a mayor here?
Yes, we have a mayor who runs the council meetings. The day-to-day and operations are done by me.
Yeah, I figured as much. That's why I wanted to speak to you, the day-to-day and everything like that. So you could put it on the agenda, could you not?
Again, we're not going to do anything till it finishes, till we get through the process, at least further through the process.
But what's further to the process? It happened. It's on video, John. You could see it.
No, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say today. You're welcome to stay here, but I have nothing more to say. But
all right. Well, I'll be at the meeting. And listen, I appreciate you coming out and at least facing me. I do appreciate that. But I'll be at the meeting. I hope that
that guy is so nervous, super nervous. Again, doesn't want to answer the tough questions. That's it. Ario checking in and saying, I'm so upset about the news in the IA report. I have the IA report. I did a FOIA request yesterday. I received it. I watched Sean's live stream on it last night, and I plan on going through the IA report this week. Probably on Wednesday. I'm going to go through it because I have a scheduled live for Monday night when I'm going to bring back retired Mass State Police State Police Trooper Todd McGee and attorney Nan Gallagher. We're going to talk about Michael Proctor, our problems with Michael Proctor, former MSP Michael Proctor. We're talking about him, and then we're going to talk about the one and only Brian COPTUAH Fahey and how dangerous they are to police our states. And hopefully they never get jobs ever again in law enforcement. We don't need people like that. We don't need people like that with a badge and a gun with that much power and authority. All right, here we go.
It's up on an agenda item. so we can discuss this. I mean, it's got to be talked about. At the end of the day, this was an injustice that happened in your town.
Again, potentially once we get through the process, but I do appreciate your time coming in. I'm certainly.
Thanks, John.
Yes,
Thanks for your time.
sure.
Yep.
Have a good day.
I'll see you later. We are outside of the Groton Town Hall Annex where a public meeting will be held. So I don't know if this is normal for the meetings. Obviously, I did a live stream earlier where I confronted the town manager about the injustice that happened. And I told him I would be showing up at this public meeting here today to peacefully petition my grievances to my government for redress, which is my First Amendment right. And there's 2 Groton police vehicles here.
Of course.
Just ready. I don't know if they come here every single time. I doubt it. I'm not sure.
I mean, if you want to see some wild town meetings, go on my channel and check out the Canton Select Board meetings. I mean, this is pretty much the same thing, and they do theirs every 2 weeks. I think Groton does theirs once a month. Here we go.
But we're going to go inside right now. Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, are you guys typically here? Public meeting?
I believe we are.
Okay.
This is my first time coming to one. So
All right. You mind if I just get your badge number, please?
Gernhard, badge number is 181.
And your name and badge number, ma'am? Thank you so much. Pietri, thank you.
After my visit to the town hall, I decided to attend a town council public meeting that was being held later that night. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, there was no general public comment. So I sat quietly throughout the entire meeting. And as soon as it was adjourned, I confronted the councilmen and women to seek justice for the injustice that I suffered in their town.
Excuse me, I would just like to address the council. I suffered a grave injustice here in the town of Groton. Excuse me, councilwomen, councilmen. I suffered a grave injustice in your town by the Groton Police Department. My First Amendment rights were violated. I was unlawfully arrested by the Groton Police Department, given a $75,000 bond. Why won't you talk about this? This is a grave injustice that happened in your town, and none of you will speak up against the injustice.
You're running away.
None of you will say a word against the injustice. I was unlawful.
Keep in mind, these are your public servants. These are the people that you pay with your tax dollars. They don't want to answer the tough questions. They want to come on. They just want to sit up. They want to control your towns. They want to control your municipalities and get their paycheck. That's it. I'm out of here. Peace. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And then when the tough question comes, when you're just asking, like, what do you feel about this behavior? How do you feel? How do you feel about the ridiculous bail that they set on me for going up and asking a journalistic question about overtime? I get spat in my face. I have a gun held at me. I'm chest bumped off property. And then now I get arrested for being a journalist. But the guy with the gun in his hand spitting, nothing happens to him. So keep this in mind. These are the people that you elect in the state of Connecticut. And this is not just Connecticut. This happens everywhere because people don't put them in check. And then when they raise your taxes, your property taxes, your business taxes, oh, we need money for the streets. We need money to clean up the parks. That all comes out of your pocket in the form of taxes. And then what happens to them? Their salaries increase. They get a bump in their salary. Oh, pay raise. Pay raise. I didn't get a pay raise last year at my job. I didn't get a pay raise. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. Here we go.
Unlawfully arrested along with my cameraman, a journalist, unlawfully arrested, and none of you will speak up against it.
Just run away. Run
Do you have
away.
anything to say, Mrs. Mayor? Nothing to say about the grave injustice?
What was that?
I'm not breaking any laws, officers.
Run away! And they all run.
Do you have anything to say, Councilman, about the grave injustice that took place in your town where you were elected to serve? A journalist unlawfully arrested?
Run away!
Nothing to say. Ma'am, do you have anything to say about the Groton Police Department? What are you guys going to do to rectify the situation? What are you all doing? Excuse me, don't bump into me, man. I appreciate it. What are you going to do? What are you all going to do to make this right? This was a grave injustice that took part.
Hey, it's Leroy Truth. Leroy in the house.
In your town, and none of you All of you are cowards. You hire the police. Why? Because you're scared of a camera? You're scared.
So the funny thing about it is, if you notice, during this meeting, there's no, they don't have a barricade there. Okay, they don't have stanchions, so you're allowed to go up and approach. But you're going to see in the clip that I play next, when Sean goes back out to the, I think they just call it a town meeting. It's not like here in Canton, Massachusetts, a select board meeting, but it's the town meeting. What do? They put up a barricade and they put up a sign to scare, to push you away, to not get close and ask tough questions. Here we go.
Have a camera, and then this guy wants to get in and start bumping me. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't. I can do what I'm doing. You can't do what you were doing. You can look all you want, but you can't touch, all right? Keep your hands to yourself. Councilman, do you have any comment on the injustice, the grave injustice, a cameraman and a journalist arrested in your town, Councilman? This is the guy right here bumping into us.
Oh, that's the mayor's husband.
Councilman, do you have any comment? I saw you giving some dirty looks while I was speaking. Are you friends with Sergeant Brian Fahey? Do you have a conflict of interest? Do you have a conflict of interest, Councilman?
Yeah, of course.
Are you going to do anything to resolve this grave injustice that took place in your town? Why won't you talk about it? Why not have a conversation? Why not have a conversation about a grave injustice that happened in your town, a town you were elected to serve? I might not be a resident here, but I came here in a journalistic capacity asking questions about a resident here, and I was unlawfully arrested, put in a jail cell, set a $75,000 bond for voyeurism.
Ridiculous.
Voyeurism, criminal trespass, and breach of the peace.
Ridiculous. Unreal.
You have nothing to say?
Maybe we can get to 53,000 subscribers today. I'm only 13 new subscribers away. Let's get to 53,000 by the end of this live stream. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And again, if you don't want my commentary, you can go over and check out these videos on Sean's channel. I want to thank Sean from Long Island Audit again, Leroy Truth, for allowing me to play through these videos and commentate over them. Make sure to sub up to their channels, Leroy Truth Investigates and Sean Long Island Audit. And if you missed our live stream, our interview the other day, you can check that out on my homepage. It's right there. Awesome. Nightmares just said, hey, I subbed today. Let's get there. We need some, we need to get to 53,000. Look at this. We're at 52,990, which is 10 more to go. All right, here we go.
First Amendment right to ask you questions, Councilman. Are you the one that called the Groton Police Department to be here? I was told that they never come to these meetings, Councilman. Did you call them to be here?
Excuse me.
Do you have no soul, no compassion for a man being unlawfully arrested in the town of Groton?
I'm gonna call.
Yeah, I'm getting away from his car. Yep. No problem. Question, have you ever arrested somebody for spitting in somebody's face and mouth before?
Yeah.
I gotta ask a question. You don't have to comment. How about you? Have you ever arrested anybody for spitting in somebody's face and mouth, officer? I will just say, I think you guys did a good job. You didn't violate my rights. I uphold good law enforcement, and I condemn the bad ones, and I expose them. You see this, ladies and gentlemen? This is what happens. This is what happens. 2 law enforcement officers for a man with the camera. They run out the back door. I should have had Leroy Truth. Make sure you go subscribe to Leroy Truth.
Yeah,
I appreciate
Leroy,
him.
what's up, buddy? There he is.
Coming all the way out here. He drove 3 hours in traffic to come to Groton, and I appreciate him for doing that and supporting me. You know, we the people need to stick together.
Exactly.
And this is the town manager. Town manager, let's speak.
Man, I can answer.
Let's talk. Let's fix this problem. This is the problem with elected officials, ladies and gentlemen, is that they want to violate our rights and then they don't want to address it. Why not have a conversation about it? It's all on video.
Look at
He wants to wave goodbye.
Wow, it's flying out of there.
Make sure you guys hit that like button and share this video. This video needs to be seen by as many people as possible.
right.
Thank you all for
Smash
joining.
that like
Listen,
button.
69 minutes in, you guys stood with me till the end. For those of you who watched all the way through the boring meeting and everything, I really appreciate it.
All right, we're going to go over to the town meeting the other day, and I just want to point this out. Jay Cornish, thank you so much for those kind words. Jay says, Brian, you're wonderful. It's been such a pleasure watching your channel grow. You found your calling. Hey, you know, listen, I'm just out here exposing things that need to be called out, exposing things that mainstream media will not call out or show. You know, they do their stories for money, for clicks. They want to shape the narrative that goes on in our country. But what you do is when you come to these types of channels and you support this type of media, independent media, you get raw and unfiltered. And that is the best thing about this. It's raw and unfiltered. I don't have a producer. I don't have a writer. I'm the producer. I'm the writer. I'm the journalist. I'm the creator, whatever you want to call me. You know, I've been through a lot of things in my life. My best friend was murdered in 1994. He did not receive justice in his case. You can look at the story on my channel. I actually pulled out news articles. That's how we got our news back then. There was no internet. It was just on the cusp of the internet. And I went through all of those news articles. I scanned them in and we talked about his case. You can watch that video on my channel. I've been open about this too. Lost my brother to suicide, so I've been through that. And I just felt the need to get on and talk about these things, helping people. I wanted to create a channel and a community to help people. That's all I want to do. And, you know, I always say this is the people's channel. You all make this channel go. If you don't come to this channel, you don't come to the live streams, you don't comment on the videos, if you're not here for the live chats, we can't, you know, that's what makes LTL Media run. That's why we can continue to get these interesting stories. And will the platform evolve and change? Probably, until we find the next calling and the next thing that we need to do. And I have bigger plans for when this space that I'm in now moves. We're going to start doing a lot more interesting things in my next space. But I appreciate all of you, all of my subscribers, all my members, all the people that come to the live chats, all the people that have donated and supported LTL Media, that has propelled me to strive to be better, to create better programming, to put better presentations together, to get into the tough things and the tough stories that mainstream media will not cover. That's why I do this. I love this. This is a passion project of mine. There's not a moment that I don't wake up every day and don't think about the next thing that I want to do here. And I always tell people, if you get into this, this is not something that you just hit the camera and go. You've got to have passion. You've got to have an interest in this. I live and breathe this channel. I love it. I love what I do here. I love to hear the interesting human stories that go on in our society. And if I can help in any way get that story out, be a person that's on the front lines down there reporting, that's what I want to do. I am very curious in nature. I'm a very curious in nature person. I love to learn about things. You know, I sat here, I'm getting ready to get into a minor carpentry project in my new studio. And I said, oh, maybe I should hire a handyman. I'm not really, you know, but I said, no, I can do this. I can figure it out. And that's how you apply yourself and you learn new skills. If you apply yourself and have a vision and a dream, you can do it. But it's only going to take you, the person that is in charge of your life, to make it happen. And I get sick and tired of things in my life where I kept saying, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. And I should have maybe done this. Well, you know what? Instead of saying I should have, I started doing those things. And you can too. You can too. You have every red-blooded American right to do that. Get out and do it. Make a change in your life, in your community, if that's what your passion is, if it's here in your heart. Start with making a sign. Stand on a corner. We started with this. We started with simple signs like this. We started with simple signs like this. For 2 years, we held signs like this on a corner in front of the courthouse on these channels talking about Karen Read. And what was the end result? This was the end result. We freed Karen Read. So if this is something that you want to do and get yourself involved with, start doing it. Talk about these things in your community. If the elected officials are not working for you, you need to find people that will. I always say this all the time. People are worried so much about who the fucking president of the United States is going to be. I'm going to tell you people, I'm looking into the camera. It's going to change every 4 years now. I doubt that we're ever going to get an 8-year president again. I don't have confidence in it, but stop worrying about it. Those are world politics that we're never going to be able to change. The way that you make a change is doing things like myself, like Sean, like Leroy Truth, like Mazza Media, Adam Teeper. I see you. These are the people that make a change in their communities because we call shit out like this and we want to hold people accountable. And remember this, the next time you go out to vote, and I get it, systems are fucking rigged and it's all about politics and who you know and all the money. I get it. But you have every right to call them out and hold them accountable. Start doing it. Look into the candidates. Look into the people that are running your communities. If they run away like this, when you ask a tough question, then it's time to look into new candidates, people that will work for you. All right, let's get back to public comments. The other day in Rotten, Sean Long Island Audit, Leroy Truth, and among other people, I think Garden State Accountability was out there as well. Full court press. Here we go.
We do not have any recognition awards and memorials this evening, nor public hearings. So we were going to go on to receipt of citizens' petitions, comments, and concerns. Receipt of citizens' petitions is the portion of the council meeting where the council welcomes comments from the citizens to address the council. Please sign the sheet on the table at the front of the meeting room. When you are recognized by the mayor, please approach the podium, clearly state your name and address, and speak into the microphone. Each presentation should be limited to 2 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. The total time allotted for this portion of the meeting is 30 minutes. In order to preserve the order of the meeting as referenced in Rule 5H of the Rules and Procedures to govern the 34th Town Council. To speak in person during this portion of the meeting, people were to sign up at the meeting before the call to order. You may also register to speak in person in advance by email at council@groton-ct.gov, no later than 4 p.m. on the day before the meeting.
Point of information.
Your question.
So for me, I have a question. I was not aware that we were changing the speaking time and putting a restraint to the amount of time, which we've never done in the past, saying like if you change it from the
being called out. I wasn't aware that you were going to change the speaking time. And then what did she do at the end? Oh, just after the break. Oh, just to let everybody know, going forward, the speaking time will be is back.
normal speaking time, you didn't say there was a limit to 30 minutes total. So I'm just curious where'd all this come from.
It's in Rule 5H of
It's
our
not
rules.
something we've ever used at any other public comment.
It is in Rule 5H. Thank you. So I have a comment I would like to make before we begin citizens' comments. I'd like to clarify certain facts to facilitate the timely consideration and order of this meeting and the town council's agenda items of tonight's scheduled town business. First, Sergeant Brian Fahey is not and never has been employed by the town of Groton. He is a sergeant with the Connecticut State Police. Similarly, any officers or attorneys assigned to the New London Superior Court are state of Connecticut employees who work with the Connecticut Judicial Branch and not for the town of Groton or its police department. The town of Groton, including the town council, town manager, police chief, or any other town employee, does not have jurisdiction or authority to make decisions regarding additional criminal charges related to the events of July 11th. At this time, this remains an active investigation, and any decisions on criminal charges as a result of that incident rest solely with the state prosecutor's office. We will now take citizens' comments. First up is Sean Paul Reyes. It is now 6:35. We are beginning.
Excuse me.
So you guys have no authority over Sergeant Brian Fahey, former Sergeant Brian Fahey, but you have plenty of authority. Your police department has plenty of authority to level baseless, felonious charges against myself and my cameraman. That's good to it's good to know. My name is Sean Paul Reyes. I'm an independent journalist and the founder of Long Island Audit. I'm most importantly a citizen who cares deeply about accountability and public trust in law enforcement. On July 11, 2025, something happened here that should alarm every single person who believes in justice. A Connecticut State Police Sergeant, Brian Fahey, brandished a firearm, physically assaulted me, and even spat in my face while I was engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. Asking questions about suspected overtime fraud, a matter of clear public concern. Let me be very clear. I was 150 feet away from his door on my way out when this armed lunatic stormed out of his house with a gun in one hand, a phone in the other, and rage in his voice. He got in my face, bumped into me, threatened me, pointed his weapon near me, and then spit directly in my face and mouth, all while falsely claiming to 911 that I threatened to kill him, which is a crime for anybody else. This wasn't law enforcement. This was lawless under the color of authority. What happened next? The Groton Police Department. I like how, Mayor, you like to try and single yourself out. You know, we're not in charge of the Connecticut State Police or New London Judicial District. But what happened next? Your police department arrived, and instead of arresting the aggressor, the person who committed felonies, they arrested me and my cameraman on baseless charges of felony voyeurism, criminal trespass, and breach of the peace. My bond, which was set by your police department, was originally set at $10,000. But on body camera, they told me they're receiving calls from high up. Was it you? Was it you? Who were the calls from high up? Was it the police chief who worked for the Connecticut State Police for 22 years? They received calls from high up, and they said, well, now your bond is $75,000. $75,000.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Mr. Reyes, you did not announce
isn't
your
optional.
address.
Transparency isn't optional.
Thank
and
you.
It is your public duty as public service
you're out of order.
to do the right thing.
You're out of order.
The people of Groton, the people of Connecticut, and the people of this country
Your time
deserve
has expired.
better. You're cowards for living.
You didn't list your address. Mr. Reyes, you did not list your address. Mr. Reyes, you did not list your address. Mr. Burt,
Yes, I'm speeding it up for time purposes. Yes, it's sped up about a half click just for time purposes. So I don't keep people here for 3 hours today, but I do appreciate you all being here. It is sped up. All right, here we go.
Address required to be able to speak. Thank you. Up next is Leroy Truth. If we do not have order within the chamber, I do have the authority to clear the chamber. Thank you. Leroy Truth.
Leroy up next. Leroy in the chat. Thank you for supporting me, buddy.
Your name?
I am Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations on YouTube. Please subscribe to me now. Good evening, everyone. Let me just say, I get it. I totally understand why Connecticut State Trooper Sergeant Brian Fahey would spit directly into the mouth of peaceful journalist Sean of Long Island Audit. I mean, Sean had the unmitigated gall, the unspeakable audacity to walk, not run. You can look up, Mayor Franco, give a little respect here. Sean had the audacity to walk, not run, not teleport, not evaporate at 186,000 miles per second off Fahey's property after being told to leave. I mean, come on, Sean. What were you thinking? Everyone knows when a Connecticut State Trooper with an ego the size of his government pension says, get off my lawn, you're supposed to dematerialize like you're in a Marvel movie. And the way Sean dared to stand there with a camera, not a gun, not a grenade, but a Canon or a Sony or an iPhone or whatever those damn peaceful auditors use these days, he might as well have launched a nuke, right? The horror, the tragedy, the nerve. But seriously, let's flip the script. because that's what this moment demands. Sergeant Brian Fahey is not a hero. He is not a protector. He is a government-issued goon with a badge and a bubbling psychological breakdown. He didn't have to come out of his house. He wasn't under threat. He wasn't provoked. He chose to close the distance. And you try to get away from responsibility. The reason that this shite show happened, number one, Brian Fahey spitting into the mouth of the Long Island Audit. Number two, your police, the Groton police, arresting, mind-blowingly arresting an innocent journalist and an innocent cameraman. Who gave that order, Mayor Franco? Who gave that order? That's why we're here. Don't blame this man. He's a journalist. He's been doing what journalists have done for generations. Try to get the truth, and you can't handle the truth. What do you have to say?
Up next, Vinny is up next.
I love it. Yeah. Alan Jackson. I mean, this is a Garden State accountability here.
What you tried to do with the time.
I'm sorry, your name?
You don't deserve a name. You don't deserve an address. Thank you. All right. What you did with the time, what you've never done before, limiting this public speaking time to 2 minutes is terrible. I commend you for bringing that point up. A rule that's never been used. This is all to silence we the people.
Yep, he's right.
Us. We want a voice, but now you've limited our voice. You've limited the speaking time just to 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You see how many people are here? You don't want to hear us. That's why you limited the time. Disgusting. All right, so I'm here today because of what happened to Sean Paul Reyes in your town. He was arrested for peacefully filming and asking questions, something protected by the First Amendment. At the same time, a police officer allegedly spit on him, pulled a gun, and was not charged. That's not fair. That's a double standard. Groton now has a choice. Will you stand up for fairness? I don't think you will. I definitely don't think you will. You just want to hide it under the fucking rug. Truth and the rights of the people. Or will you protect the bad behavior by staying silent? I bet you will. I bet you will. Now, I ask you to take this seriously, look into what happened, be open and public, and make sure this doesn't happen again. I would like the other council members to stand up and speak up, because this mayor clearly won't.
That's right.
Please. This is crazy.
Up next is Full Court Press.
Here we go. Full Court Press.
Good evening. To my fellow freedom enforcers who showed up tonight in the name of accountability, and to those men and women in uniform still confused about who the criminal was in Long Island Audit video. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the guys with the camera. My name is Full Court Press, and tonight I got a humble request. Arrest me. I see how you operate, and I don't want to miss my turn. In Groton, you don't need to break the law to be arrested. You just need to document someone else breaking it. Let's walk through it, slowly, for those still taking notes in denial. A journalist, Long Island Audit, knocks on a public official's door, leaves when asked, calm and respectful. Then bursts out of the house, little Brian Fahey, off duty, armed, enraged, follows the man toward the street, spits in his face, gun on his hip, badge in his mouth, ego on full auto. What does Groton PD do? Do they arrest the armed man who just committed assault? The one shouting, I'm a goddamn Connecticut state trooper, like it's a spell against accountability? Nope. You arrest the guy asking questions. And for extra laughs, you arrest the cameraman too. Because apparently in Groton, the real threat isn't the guy with the gun, it's the guy with the tripod. If irony were a crime, you'd be doing life without parole. Let's talk law. Connecticut General State Statute 53A61. Spitting is assault. Physical injury includes pain or impairment of condition. Saliva counts. That's not just gross, that's criminal. And the only people denying it are the ones protecting little Brian Fahey.
All right, we just dropped some memberships. Just gifted out 5 memberships. We'll bring in some new members. 1 month on me. 1 month on me. Go over and check out all my members only content. So congratulations to Lindsay for being a new member. Samantha being a new member. Go OU for being a new member. Oh, look at this. Leroy Truth. Leroy Truth got the membership as well. And Rava, new membership as well. Smash that like button for me. 1 month on me. And if you want to continue after the month, you can do that and support the platform. Let's make sure to like, share, and subscribe today. Let's get back to Full Court Press. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. Let's get back to Full Court Press. And again, it is sped up a little bit. You can watch all these videos unsped, or especially this video. It is up on my channel. Please make sure to go over and subscribe to Leroy Truth Investigate, Sean Long Island Audit, Full Court Press, Garden State Accountability. They've been doing great work down in Groton. And I want to get out there. I want to film with these guys. I want to see what they do. It's a very interesting story. It's got me captivated. All right, back to public comment here. Here we go.
What he did wasn't disgusting. It was a crime committed in public, on camera, under color of authority. And your response? Cowardice, corruption, collusion. So here I am, clean record, voice steady, camera ready, and I dare you to make your next mistake. So go ahead, arrest me. Throw me in a cruiser, I'll live stream it, narrate it in real time, and by the time the ink dries on your report, half the country will know your names, and none of them will spell hero.
Thank you. Up next is John Felix.
Right.
Who's up next?
John Felix.
Hi, John Felix, Transparency and Accountability Coalition. You can try to say you don't have jurisdiction. You do have jurisdiction over the Groton PD. They did make a false arrest against Sean Paul. He's not the criminal. He's the victim of a Connecticut state trooper. And you're saying you're not protecting him, but your PD did protect him. And you're trying to deflect the blame on other people. You have jurisdiction over the people who made the false arrest, and your constituents are going to have to pay for it. You understand that, right? You don't just get to say, oh, it's not me. Oh, it's not me. It is you. You are in charge of them. I flew all the way up from Florida to come here to talk directly to you. What's wrong with you? And now you're taking 3 minutes away from me? You don't think that's just going to enrage us more? How would you like to have someone spit in your mouth? Would you like that? What if they did it to your child? What would you do then? Would you have your husband beat somebody up? Is that how you operate? The fuck is wrong with you? You have jurisdiction over the Groton PD. The Groton PD fucking did this. And now they're maliciously prosecuting him, and your fucking constituents are going to have to fucking pay for it. You feel good about yourself? You're going to take some responsibility or not? If you fucking vote for this dumbass lady ever again, you get what you fucking deserve. Stupid ass.
Up next, We the People News.
See, there's the barrier. That's the barrier talk. See the barrier. The barrier that wasn't there. That barrier was not there. Look, this barrier right here. See the barrier? That wasn't there before. That was not there in Sean's previous video when he went out to talk to John Burt and then showed up for that meeting. They wouldn't allow public comments. But see that barrier? That's to keep people away. That's to keep people away. This whole thing here. They don't want you approaching. They don't want asking you. They don't want you asking the tough questions. They don't want you asking the tough questions. All right, back to video here.
Is this Groton, Connecticut, or is this rotten Connecticut? Because right now what I'm seeing is a whole bunch of rottenness. Good evening, council members, mayor, and fellow Americans. I'm not here tonight to cause a scene. I'm here because the line has been crossed, and that line was spit on, stomped on, and violated by a disgraced and now retired Connecticut State Trooper, Sergeant Fahey. Last month, Sean Paul Reyes of Long Island Audit, a journalist, a First Amendment auditor, a man holding a camera, was assaulted, spit on, cursed at by that nasty, wretched, vile animal. Not in a back alley, not during a riot, but in broad daylight as he was engaged in his duties as a journalist and exercising the rights guaranteed under the Constitution. And what happened next? Nothing. No arrest, no suspension, no accountability. Except for this man. He was arrested. His cameraman was arrested. Connecticut sent a clear message. The same message we've seen with Mississippi, with me. The same message out of New Jersey with Leroy Truth. That journalism is a threat. That transparency must be punished. That cops can commit crimes on camera and walk away clean. But this is not how it's supposed to be. We have three branches of government for a reason. When the courts won't act, when the legislature stays silent, the executive branch, this town.
Leroy Truth heading out for the day. Thank you for checking in and checking out this morning's live stream. Again, we're going to play through the rest of the public comments here. I want to let everybody know right now, this very moment, LTL Media, over 53,000 subscribers. Thank you for making that happen today. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It's very important that we continue to talk about these stories, and I look forward to getting out there and rocking Groton and doing some work with the boys. And please go over and sub up to Leroy Truth Investigates. He does great work. He does. Him and Sean are great. Nice guys. Very nice guys. They are who they are on camera and off camera. We had a great conversation the other day. Please make sure to check out that conversation on my channel. We have about another 15 or so minutes here. And then we're going to wrap this one up. I'm going to go out to the Star Drive-In today in East Taunton and to my sponsor, spend some money at their awesome drive-in restaurant, Retro Best retro drive-in restaurant around. If you mention LTL when you head over to the Star, mention LTL at the window, you get 10% off your order. Good to see you, brother. Stay good. Here we go.
City council, this mayor, you have the power to say enough is enough. You don't work for the state police. You don't answer to bad cops. You answer to the people. And the people are watching. The nation is watching. And the world is watching to see if Broughton has a spine.
Your time has expired. Up next is the Long Island audit.
Act of violence. Defend the First Amendment.
Thank you.
Because if we don't stand up for our rights.
You're out of order.
And once they're
We're
gone,
going to take a
they don't
recess
come
now.
back
Can we
without
stop?
a fight.
We're going to take a recess. If this continues, if people continue to go over their time, which is fair to all who would like to speak, we will recess the meeting until, and then come back. Up next, it says the Long Island audit. No, you can only speak once. Up next is James D. Up next is James D. James D.
Excuse me.
I had no intention to come up here and speak, but I wanted to show support for Sean. What I saw was despicable. I'm going to look at the police officer in here because that's what I care about. Your department arrested this man? You should be ashamed of yourself. Your whole department should be ashamed of yourself. Okay? You guys are doing the wrong thing to the wrong people.
That's right.
Crime was committed, and you covered it up because the guy's a state trooper? What would your mom think? What would your parents think? Your kids, do they know what happened? Did you go home and say, hey, our department arrested this man? Think about the future, the children, everyone. This is the example you and your department are setting. Mayor, you're in this as well. This is your department.
It's true.
You oversee them. Get them in fucking order. I mean, really, enough's enough. Long Island audit.
Up next is James D.
Hello. In a society, justice must stand as an impartial pillar that upholds fairness, equity, and the rule of law. When justice is divided into tiers, where some individuals receive preferential treatment based on wealth, status, or power, it undermines the very essence of what it means to be a free society. A tiered justice system not only breeds inequality, it also fosters resentment and distrust. As Thomas Jefferson once warned, laws and institutions must go hand in hand with progress of the human mind. For this progress to be genuine, it requires a justice system that is blind to power and privilege. When justice becomes a tool for the elite, those who are disadvantaged feel the system is rigged against them, diminishes the trust necessary for a functioning free society. Alexander Hamilton, one of our nation's most influential founders, also cautioned that the first duty of a society is justice. But when justice is doled out unevenly, when some individuals face harsher sentences than others for the same crime or are completely not held accountable for their crime, it erodes the societal contracts. Citizens begin to question whether the laws are truly just, which most are not, or whether they exist simply to protect the powerful. Our Constitution was written by James Madison, was founded on as written by James Madison, was founded on the idea that all men are created equal. All of us citizens are created equal, and that equality before the law should be non-negotiable. If we allow any form of hierarchy in our justice system, we risk creating a society where the law becomes a tool of oppression rather than a shield of freedom. And we're seeing that every day. We saw it with Long Island audit. We see it all over the country every day, where government officials and police officers are not held accountable for their bad actions. And it falls back, what they said earlier today or this evening, it falls back on the people of this town. You're going to get sued, and you're going to have to pay it. They're going to have to pay.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Up next is Lauren Gauthier.
Facts. I lived in
Good evening, Council. Lauren Gauthier, 31 Boardson Road.
Real quick before we get to this, I lived in East Lyme back in 2015. I was out there for almost 2 years on a work assignment, and I got hip to the state really quick. I started hearing the conservative radio. There's a lot of conservative radio through Connecticut because it's such a Democrat stranglehold. But I started getting hip to the state and just seeing things that they wasted so much money on, and their roads are terrible. I mean, it is literally the gateway between New York and Boston. Those roads are traveled extensively, and the roads are in terrible shape there. There's always constant construction, but then they worry about things like we need to build. I don't even know if it was built, but they put up asked for the taxpayers for like $12 million to build a naval museum in New London. And I get it. You know, I understand, I respect the military, but gosh, do we really need a $12 million museum? You know, what do they think? People are going to flood in and go to this museum? Most people probably wouldn't even know that it existed. And I'm not taking any shot at the military or museums. I love military. I love the museums. I love the men and women that have served this great country. You know, I looked at another thing in Niantic. The boardwalk had been wiped out by a previous hurricane, and they just kept asking for this ridiculous money, $6 to $8 million to redo this boardwalk. And they went into this whole revitalizing, you know, Niantic, that hundreds of thousands of people are going to come from all around the world and flood the small town of Niantic to increase the economy and the money. And I'm like, you are crazy. People wouldn't even know where Niantic is if I handed them a map and told them to point to it. Just wasteful spending. That's why it's the second most, I think it's the second most expensive state to live in besides Hawaii. If I got my statistics right. At least I knew back then when I looked at it. I was like, Jesus, it's crazy. All right, let's go back to the public comments, the public meeting. We'll finish this one up.
If I knew I could use the F word, I certainly would have used it way before now. And anyways, I'll keep my comments truncated. I'm here to speak about Pleasant Valley and the preferred developer that's on your agenda again tonight for some reason. There's already been plenty of arguments made on why Pleasant Valley is the most appropriate spot for District 4 to receive a recreation facility, including parks, playgrounds, and athletic fields. But I want to specifically focus on the two arguments that have been made to turn Pleasant Valley into a high-density housing complex instead. Those two arguments being that there aren't many other areas in town for housing to go. This is incorrect. The Planning and Zoning Commission has been working on rezoning the IM district, which is that area by the Pequot Emergency Department and Mystic Marriott, where that controversial data center was supposed to go. Recently, we rezoned that so that multifamily housing can be built there. That's a large area that's now open to those types of developments. In addition, I know Groton City has been working towards rezoning to allow for housing on Bridge Street to advantageously use the topography there to add more density. So those are just two quick examples, but to say that these 300 apartments can't go anywhere else is incorrect. And then the other argument being made that we have to put these schools back on the tax rolls seems to only apply to the western side of town, where the town of Groton, derives our identity as the submarine capital of the world. These high-density apartments at these schools are apparently only applicable to the city of Groton and District 4, but not SB Butler or Claude Chester. And I feel like if you're going to discriminate against this side of town, at least be consistent in your logic. So I've been through like the 5 stages of grief on this project, and with you counselors, I just won't accept it. I think that you guys can and should understand the opportunity cost here and how deeply this will affect our community. Please don't vote for this developer.
Thank you.
Yeah, real quick, let's see. It's probably changed. I just did a quick Google search. 20 most expensive states to live in 2025. Let's see. Number 1, Hawaii. Number 2, the great state of Massachusetts. My great state. Massachusetts. It doesn't surprise me. 3, California. New York is 4. Alaska. Wait, look at this. Connecticut's probably not even going to fucking be in there. I'm probably going to look like an idiot. Maryland's number 6. Maryland, really? Washington, Vermont, Oregon, New Hampshire, New Jersey, 11. Connecticut is 12. So my state beats out Connecticut. Rhode Island, it's crazy. Maine, Arizona, Colorado, Utah at 17, Montana, Virginia, and Delaware. States that I just wouldn't even think. So I am wrong. Yeah. All right, let's go. Back
Up next is Michael Boucher.
I think you said my name, but I can't hear you.
Boucher.
Mike Boucher, 16 Hillside Avenue. The Community Investment Fund is a State Department grant program to promote economic and community development. At a COW meeting, the agenda package listed 3 legitimate projects for CIF: Route 117, Groton Heights and Pleasant Valley School, and the athletic fields for $10 million. Without any notice before the meeting, a very questionable City of Groton seawall application appeared during the CIF portion of the COW meeting. The City of Groton seawall improvement was for $9.8 million. Director Reinhardt provided very little information and simply stated that ledge and other stuff were hit and nothing much else. Council Borderline was prevented from gaining any information about the seawall and thus prevented from looking after the best interest of our Groton neighborhoods and advocating for our athletic fields.
A motion was made and passed to support the seawall cost overruns for
Oh, here it
$9.8
is.
million instead of
Look.
athletic fields. Portia was the only councilor who stood up and supported our neighborhood athletic fields and refused to support the bailout of the city of Groton seawall debacle. The town council owes the Groton community and Council Borderline an apology for not allowing discussion on the seawall debacle. Reiner's comments on the failed seawall project were woefully incomplete and misleading. I am concerned about Franco's vote in the matter, which resulted in no funding for Groton Heights, considering all the controversy she is already involved in Groton Heights School. I am concerned with Rusk's vote in supporting the city of Groton with a $9.8 million bailout, and now she could become the paid mayor of the city of Groton. I challenge the town staff and town council to release any engineering study stating that the seawall was in any danger of failing, to provide all communications with the city of Groton and the state concerning the funding of the seawall and the county attorney's opinion on the definition of seawall and highway to the public. Please meet with BL companies and ask about the RFP for the seawall, which did not guarantee the locations of infrastructure, or ask why the design of the seawall, which required bedrock to be anchored,
Thank you.
only had 3 test drillings for 350
Your
feet.
time has
And one of
expired.
those drillings failed to find any bedrock.
Up
The
next-
city
up
failed
next is
miserably
Michael
with their
Fontaine.
application, and you need to know more.
Up next is
failed to
Michael
ask.
Fontaine.
Good evening, Council. I've been a Groton resident for almost 5 years, formerly of Norwich. I actually had the distinction of having Chief Fazzaro be my neighbor for 3 doors down. So I know him very well for the first 10 years of my life, so much so that the Chief of Norwich, his father, attended both of my family's funerals. What I saw in July, what the police department did to this man, falsely arresting him, really concerned me. This is the first time I ever addressed a public setting like this, and I'm afraid that he's going to sue the town, and the taxpayers are going to have to bear the burden of this. So I'm just wondering what the town's going to do about this.
Norwich.
Up next is John Goodrich.
They don't care. They don't care.
I have John Goodrich up next.
Yeah, I got the message. John Goodrich was not going to make it tonight, so that he said to take his turn for him. My name is Ian Thomas, 24 Jefferson Drive. Full disclosure, I'm a member of the Board of Education and spouse to Councilor Bordelon. I just wanted to speak, first off, just I agree with Gauthier and Boucher as far as the topics of their conversation. I don't want to take my time on that since it's limited. I just wanted to take the opportunity to correct the record. Mayor Franco visited the Board of Ed last week and discussed some matters with the FOI case that was recently decided. I filed a complaint last year in regards to a situation that occurred July 9th, where Councilor Rusk made an inappropriate motion to require an apology for me being verbally abusive to the town attorney and also disrupting a previous meeting. This was found. Mayor Franco came to the Board of Ed and discussed findings. The findings actually is an interesting interpretation, but I will submit these to the record. There's a few articles here from the press and also the actual finding. I got the final decision in the mail last week, so there has been no appeal. It is a settled matter. I highlighted the section that is most pertinent. Paragraph 12 is a bit of a setup, but basically saying like at the time, Councilor Rusk interrupted auditor's presentation for the financial report, moved for a formal apology. The complainant was sitting quietly at the desk. So there was no disruption in the July 9th meeting to justify the Roberts Rules exemption. But moreover, the finding was that it was inappropriate motion.
Hey, listen, this country was bought and paid for a long time ago. Mr. Maker says, hey, the more I watch this type of content, the more I believe that USA is not the land of the free and what it's made out to be. Again, you know, this country was bought and paid for a long time ago. But it's people like this, it's people like you in this chat, people like myself that call this out and ask for accountability and expose it. And I just went back even the beginning of my live stream and talked about the mainstream media will not cover stories like this. They will not cover the public comments like this. That shapes the narrative of America. It takes independent outlets like myself to call this stuff out, expose it, and show you the truth. People like Long Island Audit, Sean, people like Leroy Truth. All right, let's finish with public comment. Here we go.
And there was
thanks for being here.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Yes.
Up next on our agenda will be the consent calendar. Councilor Bordelon, would you like to take the consent calendar? Counselor Parker?
Yes, Counselor Parker.
Oh, I apologize. Counselor Parker, I apologize.
Make a resolution, thank you, Madam Mayor. 2025-673, the May 27, 2025 special meeting minutes. Oh, we're moving the whole thing. Consent, I'm move the following 2025-673, May 27, 2025 special meeting minutes. The following meeting minutes, July 1st, July 8th, and July 22nd, as well as the special trust fund contributions. I so move.
Second.
Moved by Parker, seconded by Good. Anybody have any corrections or changes to the minutes? Okay, seeing none, we'll take a vote on the consent calendar. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Abstentions?
I'll abstain.
That passes 8-0 to 1 with Bordelon abstaining. Up next, communication and reports, other than committee reports.
We did receive a ton of phone calls from people regarding the police matter from all around the state, all around the country, really. Unfortunately, as for my statement is, I was not at the last meeting. I was virtual due to an illness. What I have to say is basically the council oversees the town manager. We hire or fire the town manager, and the town manager oversees our town staff. So I believe in due process. I'm fact-finding in all the situation. Obviously, my decision or my feeling on it wouldn't change anything, but I feel everyone has a right to their opinion and their voice. And so I thank people for who have reached out, tons of emails that have come
The only
in.
rational person in that room on that council right now. Right now, Councilor Bordelon. It's the only person that's the rational person in that room right now.
Again, I don't know where I stand on all of this but I think due process has to happen. And from there, but I think for both sides of the party, due process is only the right thing. So that's what I say to that. With that also regarding the Board of Ed matter and the FOI regarding my husband, I'm personally tired of the attacks on my family. And I personally feel the comments were not needed after a finding was withheld by the ruling. And as it says up here, once the ruling has been final, let it lay. And to go up there and attack at a Board of Ed meeting and watching that was just, to me, embarrassing and very frustrating. Also tonight, we have changed the minutes to our meetings before if it's been a big crowd, much larger than this, and it usually has gone to 3 minutes. But also, in fact, they've never put a time limit on it. So we have changed the time, but this is the first time I've ever seen it where they said not only is there a time limit, but we're going to make a time limit, meaning we won't exceed 30 minutes. We've stood here for hours under public comments in the past. This thing has never been in the comment section of our agenda since I've been on here.
Well, at least
we've changed the minutes, but never.
I know that people say, oh, she's going to scold people for the bad language. I know that. I get it. But at least she's calling out things here that need to be transparent. They're going to give a little bit of credit here. Going to give her a little bit of credit because they're not going to call it out. Those other people on the panel, especially the mayor, is not going to call this out. And she's being transparent. Like, look, this has never been on our agenda. It's never been in our meeting notes. I'm just letting the public know. Listen, the language, yeah, listen, you're public speaking. You want to come off as a little bit more distinguished, and I don't want to take any shots at anybody for the language they use. I understand they're frustrated. I use the F word as well, too. I do it. But it is what it is, right? But I do like the fact that she is calling out these things. She's going to attack people for the language. I get it. I get attacked on my channel for language. Look, we're all adults. We talk about adult things here. We get it. I try not to use it, but listen, I say the F word too. People are frustrated. And when you're frustrated, sometimes you can't find the right words in that very moment, or you want to stress that very moment with a foul word so people will listen. It gets the attention. When people hear the F word, it gets the attention, right? When you're outside and you hear someone arguing, and you're walking out your door and you hear, hey, mother, you turn, right? Because it gets your attention. It's an attention using word. All right, let's go.
Never have I ever seen it where we've then said we're only going to keep it to 30 minutes. And we've had larger crowds than this. So again, I'm not saying I don't agree with the swearing that occurred here tonight as a person who tries my hardest itself because children may watch this video. So I don't agree with that. But I feel everyone has a right to voice their opinion and speak up and let due process happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Pacino. Can we have order in the galley? Otherwise, we're going to take a recess, please.
Recess?
All right, we're going to take a recess. We're going to
Run
come back in
away!
10 minutes. Thank you.
Run away!
Okay, it is
Run
7:12. We are back
away!
from recess.
More
Up
excuses.
next, Councilor Pacino, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have anything I need to share today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Russ.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to start by saying thank you to the Groton Beautification Committee for inviting me out on Saturday. It was a great time. If
Oh
you
my
have
God.
1 hour or two to spare
People are so out of touch.
a month, please give the Groton Beautification Committee a
back.
call. They are trying to do a lot on very few people, very few volunteers. They can be reached via Facebook or on the town website. Their next meeting is scheduled for August 7th. It is always the first Thursday of the month at 6:30 in the Town Hall Annex, so here. So please come on out and support the Groton Beautification Committee. I want to say congratulations to the city for their 40th City Day. It went very, very well. I was there with Councilor Parker, Councilor Pacino, Councilor Good. If I missed somebody, I apologize. And I am going to address what Mr. Thomas said. I think he stepped out of the room, but I may have made a parliamentary error, but I will never condone somebody coming to a meeting and talking over people, talking over the mayor in this situation, which is why I asked him for an apology. It does not need to come up again. It is what it is. He made his choice, and I did ask him for an apology. He chose not to do it. So yes, my error was in parliamentary procedure, but it was not in asking for the apology. So hopefully that is done, since it is from a year ago. So anytime you'd like to apologize, feel free.
When?
Councilor Bordelon, it's inappropriate.
I just think
Thank
that
you.
comment
I
is
think it's
inappropriate.
inappropriate. You do
When?
not have the floor.
I just think it was
You're out of
inappropriate.
order.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
When?
Up next, Councilor Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to relay something we thanked before, but I'm going to just do it again because we've had some residents reach out about how nice they like the new pickleball courts.
Oh, God.
55, they're getting a lot of use. People are
This is
thrilled
what
that
you
they're there.
feel
And I just want to, again, thank the Parks and Rec and also the efforts that the council did on bringing those forward. So just a big thank you. And the residents know which way.
That's what they worry about. Pickleball court.
Thank you. Received lots of emails and phone calls, or more emails regarding the police matter that's been discussed this evening. And the only thing I want to reiterate, similar to what Councilor Bordelon mentioned, is that my understanding of this council's roles and responsibilities are to ensure the town manager is performing his job, and we hire him or her as needed. And that's his role and responsibility to oversee all the employees and the department heads. So it's not this council's role to be involved in those matters. And I think that information should be clear to the public. And John Bird, if you're able to, on your report, if you can potentially, kind of explain that situation, because I think the perception is that this council can act in a manner that I don't believe it has the ability to do so. And I think the public should be aware
Exactly,
of what
Paul.
our capabilities are and what our roles are versus what some in public opinion have. So that's all. Thank you.
Councilor Good.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also attended Groton City Night, a lot of fun. They moved it over and broadened it out a lot. I was there with some kids and they all had a great time. Also worked with the beautification committee this weekend. Well, like Councilor Russ says, it only takes about an hour or two a month, and it really does a lot for the town to have people volunteer to keep it clean and make it more beautiful. Thanks. That's all.
Thank you. Councilor Parker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The charter does say what the town council can do, what the town manager does. Charter is online for everyone to read, and I suggest everyone brush up on it. That's all I'm going to comment on that. Part two is there is a process, and we are not involved in it. It is in the hands of the state of Connecticut Department. So that's part two. There will be a pop-up United Way mobile food pantry.
Well, I'm gonna talk about that in my next live. I'm gonna go through the IA report. I have it. I FOIA'd it yesterday. But Caps fan 93 says, Sean, go to the next meeting and air the full unedited video with his billboard truck so they have no excuses. Listen, I saw Sean's live stream yesterday. I didn't see any time jumps. And I have a few things that I want to point out in some of those videos as well that shows that there wasn't any malicious intent in the way that the video was put together or edited. We're going to go through that probably most likely on Wednesday night. So let's finish this up. We got about another 3 or 4 minutes. Then I'm going to head out. I'm going to have an awesome meal of food at the Star Drive-In today. If you're over and you live here in the great state of Massachusetts and get over to that area, East Taunton's most great most great retro hotspot. Just make sure to say LTL at the window and you get 10% off. Here we go.
Entry on August 11th from 4:30 to 5:30. You do have to bring your own bags, and it's going to be at Thrive 55. I attended United Way, mobile food pantry, that we do once a month with Councilor Good and Councilor Rusk, as well as I attended the Tommy Toy Fund that was held at Outer Lights. That was a great turnout. And I want to send my sincere condolences and for two people that I've met and know. Former Mayor Rita Schmidt and Miss Marjorie Brooks. Wonderful women, and they will be deeply missed. Thank you.
Thank you. Just like to make it clear to my community that when I go and speak at the Board of Ed during citizens' comments, I can speak as a citizen.
Oh, here we
just as
go.
though I see other people that come here and speak as citizens, although they are elected officials on other boards, as well as fellow town councilors do as well on numerous occasions. And I don't think we've ever discussed that here as a body. I would like to also notify Mr. Burt that prior to the meeting starting, Councilor Rusk did have spit on her seat. So I know we have.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I'm going to tell you why you didn't. I'm going to show you why you didn't. I'm going to show you why there wasn't spit on your seat. That's a fucking lie. Didn't happen. Because look, when was this public meeting? Was what, almost a week ago? Why haven't we seen it? And she's going to go, and I'm sure that inside this room, there's cameras. Well, let's see the footage of the person that's spitting there then. Let's see it. I'm going to back up the video here before we end this live today. I'm going to show you why no one got over and spit on any of the chairs. Right? Why wouldn't we see a story or a video already? It would have been released, right? Oh, person comes in and spits in council person's seat. We would have saw that, right? Someone probably spilt their fucking water on the seat. Right? We would have seen a story. Let's back that up a little bit. Here we go.
I'd like to also notify Mr. Burt that prior to the meeting starting, Councilor Rusk did have spit on her seat. So I know we have recordings in these rooms. So if it would be possible to look at these recordings to see how this played out. It's very inappropriate.
Let's see how it played out.
And I will say that the amount of time that we are doing as speakers is in our rules. And if you look at other towns and cities, they also have time limits. They also have the amount of time that citizen comments can last.
Here's the
I
excuses.
know for just facts, because I've gone and spoken at one, as at Norwich. They only allow, I believe it's 30 minutes. So this is not unusual. It happens broadly across the state. This is nothing unusual. And actually, I just want the council to know that I do plan to keep this in play for the remainder of the term that I am the mayor.
Oh, all right. I want to go back.
Deposition today. Any
By the way, that's a great video too, that deposition video. I'm going to show you why there was no spit. I'm going to show you why no one spat. Let's go back to this photo here. Okay, let's go back to this right here. So the mayor says, oh, there was spit on the chair. Bullshit. I guarantee it's someone that spilled their drink or their coffee and then went, oh, someone spit on my chair. Where's the video evidence? If there was any of that happen, and I believe this meeting was a couple of days ago, why haven't we heard a story or someone being arrested? Or here's the photo, or here's the incident of here's the video capture that we captured on our security camera of the person spitting. I'm going to tell you why there was no spit. You see this right here? Look. All blocked off. Plenty of warning signs. Do not come past these signs. Now, look, I understand. Look, I understand.
All right, you're out of order.
I understand this little area. Someone's going, oh, well, look at, there is a guard here. There's a security guard or a police officer there the entire time. Okay. So I'm sure that when people are allowed to assemble in this room, like they are right now, peacefully assembled, listening to the public comment, okay, I'm sure this security officer or guard look, it's
And
probably a
what's their
police officer. I'm sure this police officer has been in that room the entire time when the public was allowed to come in. I'm going to tell you this too. Would someone be a fucking moron when you have a camera here that's probably capturing the whole room? I'm sure. Oh, look, I'm sure there's a camera here up on the video screen, but that's probably for when the live stream starts. But I also see this camera as well too, and I don't know if that runs when just the live stream happens. Garden State Accountability checking in, and he was there. He said, "Look, even before the meeting, there were officers there." So this is a bullshit lie. This is a bullshit made up lie by this mayor to say, "Oh well, look, we're going to lock the doors next time to the public meeting." Or what they'll do, just like they did in Canton, Massachusetts, when we were calling out for accountability for all the police officers during the Karen Reed trial, we're going to do these virtually. We're just going to do it virtually. We're not going to allow the public to come in. We'll just do them virtually. So I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit. Didn't happen. You got a roped off area here. You got a police officer here. You got a camera here. You got a camera there. Yeah, I get it. There's nothing in this space. We got a sign warning, probably saying if you pass this line, you're going to be arrested. I don't know. But there's plenty of things in there to say, hey, you're not coming past this line here. And I'm gonna put it even past this. I don't even think that it is in the nature or in the even mind of any person in that room that spoke during this time. I'm sure they have a lot more integrity than what this mayor is saying about the people that assembled peacefully in this meeting, that they would go up and do something like this. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I've only known Sean, I've only known Leroy for a very short amount of time. But their character does not show any of those traits. And I'm sure the other people that came into that meeting, it's not in their nature, it's not in their traits. But we do know the person that likes to spit in the faces of a journalist for asking questions, and that is former disgraced Connecticut State Trooper Brian COPTUAH Fahey. He would spit. He would spit in the chair. He would spit in anybody that's in that meeting. All right, everybody. That is going to end today's live stream for today. I appreciate everybody for coming over and hanging out on the LTL Media channel this Saturday morning. I appreciate all of you. If you want to read my story on Sean Paul Reyes, please click on the link there that I just posted in the chat, and you can get that. It's the top story right in that article. Again, thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate all of the support. I appreciate all of the comments, the interaction here in the stream. And look, hey, we got over 53,000 subscribers today. I'm going to have a killer live stream on Monday night when I have my good friend, retired Mass State Police Todd McGee, one of the good guys that call out accountability and ask for transparency within his former department. And I have another friend that's going to be joining me on that panel, Attorney Nan Gallagher. We're going to talk about Brian COPTUAH Fahey, and we're going to talk about disgraced former trooper, Michael Proctor. We're dealing with him in the state of Massachusetts here. So you can click that link that I just dropped there, set your reminder. We'll have that live stream on Monday. And then on Wednesday night's program, I'm probably going to go through the internal affairs report of Brian COPTUAH Fahey. I do have it in my possession. I did a FOIA request for it yesterday. I want to read through it a little bit more, and we'll go through that on Wednesday evening. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope everybody enjoys their Saturday morning, their afternoon, and their evening. And I'll talk to everybody soon. I am out. Peace.